right, so we're here today. Flip around and get the sign first. Our own. This is why we're here today. We're at the local confectionery, and this place is my favorite place to come to in the fall season. Devin, yeah. I hear it. This place was made before we were born, and it's owned by two lovely individuals that take so much pride in what they do, creating all their candies here, but none are as good as the candy apple. And I love candy apples, but they make a few different varieties here, and they, from every little detail, the apple, the caramel, the chocolate, everything is done with so much love and care. And we're here to talk to the owner himself about the process and find out why I love these treats so much, because I don't know why, but they keep me coming back every year. All right, so we are here at, my favorite place, the confectionery, with the man of the hour, Todd, and his wife, Betsy, own this place. They make all these decadent treats, and I've enjoyed these candy apples for years to come because they are the best. They put so much love, attention, and care into these decadent treats. It's even on the cover of my book. We'll show a shot of my book, but literally it's me and a candy apple on the cover of the book because they are that good. So thanks for
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. First question I have for you. So I know why I love candy apples. I share them all the time. I've been sharing it online. People know me as like the candy apple connoisseur, so to say. So I'm curious, what began the love of candy apples for you guys here at the confectionery?
So it kind of starts out with what we started with in 1982 is a respect for doing things the right way. And some people call it old-fashioned, not cutting corners. And the way to do the apples the right way is use the best product you can at all times. And so we use a Granny Smith apple. We try to use only first year crop apples. What does that mean? That means you have to wait until some of the grocery stores get last year's apples because they don't want to throw them away. They flash freeze them, which is good. It's just not good enough, right?
Did not know that.
So it's like the difference between using butter and margarine.
Okay.
Margarine is just a fat that they've whipped up so much that it's kind of like butter and added flavor. So when we do the caramel for the apples, which is a bit of our staple, it goes into a lot of things. Again, it just kind of comes down to having the right attitude towards making the product for people like yourself. And I'm happy to see how well it does with you and your people, because it's a lot of work. And that's why I do it. Is to make people happy.
Wow, that means that much more. Yeah, I like how you mentioned that it takes the right attitude.
Yeah, so it's the attitude in that it's not just good enough. There's right and wrong. You know, you use butter because it's a good butter. You use a good butter because it's the right one, or you use the right sugar or the right corn syrup and all of that. And it's having the patience to do it right, not just going, okay. It's knowing you did it right.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you use same year apples?
First year or new crop apples.
Okay.
So what does that mean? That means if you're not using new crop apples, you're using last year's apples, which get flash frozen. Now, again, they're good, they're not great. So when you bite into a Granny Smith apple, you want that crispy crunch and tart, especially with my caramel, because it is a very rich caramel, and it's quite frankly the only apple that kind of goes with our caramel. Some people might argue that, but it ends up being way, way, way too sweet.
So they're always Granny Smiths. You always use Granny Smith.
Always.
Nice.
Never anything else.
Nice. Okay.
And I've had lots of people ask me to substitute.
Interesting.
And there's no substitution.
You won't do it.
No.
Wow, I like that. He knows how he wants his
Not
product.
even for family.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Unlike most places, you get candy apples from everywhere else. They always have varieties. But you know your caramel enough to say this is the apple that goes with it.
Yes.
That's cool. So grocery stores always so they use flash frozen apples from prior years?
They can. I'm not saying they all do. I'm saying they can. And it's not necessarily their choice. Sometimes the choice is taken out of their hands because it's the only things they can get. And do you have what you can get, or do you wait?
Okay, so to that question, where do you source your apples? Like, what's the process of finding the right apple batch?
Right, so the right apple comes from West Coast because they can grow big enough, soon enough. We just don't have the warm enough weather here to facilitate the apples when we want them. I think they could, but it would be December, and then we'd be done by then.
Got it.
And I'm not even so sure they could grow them the size that we want. We use what's called an 88 apple, which is not the largest apple, but it's not a small apple either. When doing caramel apples, it's probably one of the bigger ones you'll see.
I mean, if they were any bigger, we'd be really overindulging.
Well, it just means more apple, which is better for you, right?
Yeah, right, true.
Yeah.
More of the fiber and the healthy stuff.
Yes, the healthy stuff.
Oh, I think part of the exclusiveness of these apples here at this facility is that you can only get them a certain time of year. Like you just said, how cool would it be if you could get them in December or something? But I love that, like, every time this time of year comes around, I'm sure everyone in the community knows, like, it's confectionery candy apple time. And that's really cool. So with how popular they are, have you ever toyed with the idea of doing them any other season, or is there a reason?
No. With apples, I have two main questions.
Okay.
One is are they here yet? And how long do I have? So,
You asked the provider that of the apples.
no. People who come in and want the caramel apples ask, well, are they ready yet? Or when is the, yes.
Yeah.
When is the last day I can get apples? Because they want to make sure they get their last apple for the season. And that does a couple of things. One is, if you could have something every day, how bad do you want it?
True.
If you could only get something a few weeks, 7-8 weeks out of the year, now we've built that anticipation of when am I getting my apple?
Kind of like the McRib, most people could probably relate to, right? Seasonal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seasonal, for sure.
What is it about, like, the combination? Because I can't answer this. I just know how orgasmic they all are together. The apple, the caramel, and the chocolate together. What is it about them all, in your opinion?
Sure. So part of it is some people want just the sweet with the tart apple, and that's your plain caramel apple. So some people want the caramel apple with peanuts, which has salt. So now you've got the savory, the sweet, and the tart. We took it up a bit with the chocolate. So now you've got the caramel sweet, chocolate sweet, savory peanuts, and the tart with the apple. I've seen a lot of people or other places do a bunch of different types of candies on an apple. I'm not looking for more to do, I'm looking to do things better.
Nice. That makes me think, when you mentioned the, oh man, it just gets me going. I get so excited. When you mentioned the chocolate on the car, I'm going to show you this picture. I literally saved it this morning because it was a Facebook memory a year ago when you guys, we called and requested last year.
I remember this
chocolate.
picture.
Do you remember?
I do.
Oh my gosh, look at this. We'll show a picture of it, but Devin, look at how, like, there's not a sign of anything but chocolate on those apples. And even, like, they're almost like double coated.
Yeah. I did that. I do it that way because it looks like it's been drizzled on there, and I like the lines. I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the way it tastes.
There's nothing super canned about it. It's messy.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the apples are healthy.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the best part about a candy apple, though, right? You get a little bit of guiltlessness in there. You know, some fibers, some vitamins and minerals, some micronutrients. I feel like I have to get one of each today. I'm judging it saying, oh, but the chocolate and the caramel is my favorite, but honestly, I don't think I've ever just gotten one with the caramel and nuts.
Yeah, they're all different moods, right?
Different moods.
Yeah, they're all different moods.
Do you do chocolate with the nuts, or that's not like your
They do
everything.
The triple threat.
Yeah.
Caramel, chocolate, and nuts. Yeah, they're all
Do you
up there
have
too.
one?
Yes.
Yeah, they're all
does have one.
Whoa.
I'm so sorry.
That's definitely.
So there's the dark chocolate. Here's your milk chocolate. Everything.
Yeah, dark chocolate looks cool.
And this is where you used to make all the candy you said back here?
Yeah, this is the slab that we used to do all the candy making on. We used to make popcorn over here in the corner, and it was all done by hand. Now we have 100-year-old machines that are doing the job. So you pour, if it was buttercreams, you pour a batch out, and you'd move it with a spade from side to side to side for about 30 minutes, and it has the consistency of about taffy. So a little bit of a workout, adding your flavor and everything else, and then it sets up. And it does a kind of a chemical reaction. It goes from pseudo liquid, more like a corn syrup kind of liquid, maybe even a little bit stiffer than that, to rock solid. And then you have to cut it like a thick bread. And then it goes through another transition. It goes into a bag, it's kneaded, and then it comes out more like taffy. And then that gets extruded. We used to hand roll everything. Then that gets extruded through a machine, and you get little medallions. I'll have my wife send some pictures to you so you can kind of see that too.
All right, what's your favorite? All the variations you do. We got nut covered, dark.
Always getting it.
Oh, what? Look at it. It comes out on its own. It's like on display.
So I made this for me today. This is a dark
Seriously?
chocolate caramel apple.
That's a snack for later.
I am a caramel junkie.
And you like the dark chocolate, you said, right?
Yeah, I do.
Milk?
I do. I'm more of a dark chocolate person on almost everything. One of the things I prefer milk chocolate on is the peanut butter cups, and I actually like the dark chocolate also, but prefer the milk chocolate just because milk chocolate and peanut butter go together.
Got it.
You know, kind of like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, yeah.
But this to me is the right sweetness, the right cocoa, the right apple.
Yeah.
This is what I like best.
Whoa, I will.
Well, if you're gonna cheat with something that has some value to it, right?
That's true, yeah. And I'd say what? Probably like 70% of candy apple is the apple, right?
If not more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not all processed.
Very true. Yes.
Handmade.
That's right.
Handmade. With what you can share here, like, what is the process of making the perfect candy apple? Like, do you have a way you go about what you do behind the scenes? Is it methodical?
Yes. So again, you start with the best apple you can get, which is California, and then as the season goes, it goes up the coast because they become more available with the weather. So you start there, and then you do the caramel, and you make it exactly the same way every single time, so that you have a consistency.
Sure.
And again, it goes back to respecting customer enough to do it right every single time.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What do you do at the end? Because I came in here the other day to get some for the neighborhood, and you guys were just finishing up a batch. And so the young lady at the front was like, okay, there's a batch cooling down right now. What did you mean by that?
So I probably literally just got done cooking them, and so number one, what you're doing is you're rotating apples. So making sure that freshest apples are out and about. So if I did them, say on Tuesday, you want to sell those first, and then if I did them on Wednesday, those will go next. But if you were to take a warm apple, warm caramel on an apple, and then package it, you get condensation on the inside. And when you pierce an apple with a stick, you've got a wound. So that sets your clock a lot faster than if it was just the apple. So you want to keep that rotation going, and you want the apple to cool enough to box that it's not going to radiate heat and trap it.
Wow. It's like finite detail.
A little bit.
So when the whole process is done, they technically cool by what, going in a refrigerator?
No, just room temperature.
Oh, just room temperature.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you package it up and it's
Yes.
ready to go to a customer.
Yeah, so the other part of the question that you asked earlier is that when making a batch, when we first started doing it before, the machine that I have, it used to take us 6 hours to cook the caramel. And so when you're cooking, you're introducing a burn, right? But it's a controlled burn. And so nothing's burning as far as getting a burnt taste, but I guess maybe a better word is toasting. You're toasting the sugar, the milk product, the butter, everything else that goes in there. Now that the machine that we have, we can actually do it in a couple hours. So I can make a batch in a couple hours versus 6 hours stirred by hand.
The old school way.
Yeah.
A little muscle in there.
If you look behind you, the apples that are sitting over here, they're sitting on a slab, and that's where we used to do a lot of candy making.
Oh, right over here.
Right there, right behind the registers. And that's marble. So what that does is that takes the heat out of a batch. Whether you're doing peanut brittle or you're doing creams or whatever. And now I have that all in the kitchen, and I would love to have you come back, but I would rather not with the whole health department thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I'll end it with this. Any fun or funny stories when you created the candy apple or any other candies in the shop? Memories, or you think of prominent moments?
Sure, there's a lot of memories. And the best part about this is that when you're making candy and you're helping out a community with Thanksgiving, Christmas, Mother's Day, is you get to see your community grow up. And what I mean by that is you get to see the kids go from 12, 13, 14 years old, even younger sometimes, because I've been doing this a long time, 40 plus years, and that you get to see those kids grow up into adults, into parents, into grandparents. Wow. Now, so I have this story that I tell every once in a while, and there used to be a couple girls who used to come in. They used to go to St. Mary's, and they used to giggle all the time. And so I decided I was going to play the game with them, and I started talking about this microfilm. And microfilm. Did you see the microfilm?
Okay.
And so the next time they came in, I said, do you have the microfilm? You don't remember that? I said, I sure do. And so they laughed and giggled. They bought some candy and left. Well, fast forward about 10 years, I saw them out at one of the local drinking establishments. And I walked up and I said, you're not old enough to be in here. Oh, and by the way, where's the microfilm? And they busted out laughing. Whoa. You don't remember that? I said, I sure do. And that's really kind of what, for me, making candy is making those relationships with not only the kids, the whole family, being part of those traditions that we can be.
That's awesome. Wow. Thank you for doing this, Todd.
Thank you.
Thanks for making the best product around. These are top notch.
Thank you for the promotion.
Absolutely. Next time I come, I gotta try the Todd special. I mean, so should I just call in advance and be like, hey, I want it done?
Please do, because I don't always have my try to.
Okay.
But the dark chocolate isn't as popular as the milk chocolate by far. I'm working on that. Here.
Well, that's just straight caramel, right? Those are.
These are straight caramel.
Just caramel. That one's
And then this is a chocolate caramel.
Wow, fascinating. Cool. All right, well, I'm gonna load up while I'm here. You guys
Okay.
you got a box?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Absolutely. Then we go get a box.
All right, and I'm gonna go get a wallet.
That was the week before Easter.
When this thing started,
Yeah.
a week before Easter, he remembers when this place opened.
Wow.
I was
crazy.
14.
And we were negative 11.
Yeah. I wasn't even a thought yet.
Tyler, what kind of wood do we want?
Let's do 5 caramel and chocolate, and then let's do 2 just caramel and nut. And I gotta try one of the dark chocolate.
Okay. With the nuts?
Chocolate nut. Oh, do you have one without? If you don't, I'll do it another time. What? No way. It's
I was
my
gonna say,
lucky
you
day.
can't steal Todd's apple.
Oh man, I know, right? Todd's apple was really, and it came out the way you presented it. You brought it out from the back, and it was just alone on its tray.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay. So we have
Little of everything.
Little of everything.
Did you get one of everything? Tell each try every single one.
Almost. The only
You
one I
could
did
rank
is
them.
just the plain
You could
caramel.
rank them all.
All right, throw a plain in there too.
nothing like pure pressure, right?
Yeah, right.
No such thing.
You can't go wrong. That's for sure.
There we go, guys. Support small and local businesses.
All right.
Jelly Belly box.
74.52, please.
Sea monsters.
Caramel, pecans, and chocolate. We called it the sea monster because it was way bigger than the pixie or the turtle. And you can't use turtle or pixie because it's trademarked.
Appreciate you once again.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're back from our trip at the confectionery. Had a great time with Todd talking about him. Was that not an amazing process? These apples are some of the best thing, and now we get to do the best part. Not only consume the apple, of course, you gotta consume one for yourself, but we're gonna hand them out. It's a great time of year to do so. I love doing this. I love just going around the neighborhood to our friends, family, and just giving a few of these bad boys away, because not only is it my absolute favorite treat, but it's just a warm, fuzzy feeling to get a gift like this, a caramel apple, which kind of like screams fall in my opinion. And so in the fall time, it's just a fun thing to do. Hand these suckers out, so we're gonna go walk around the neighborhood and make a few people's days by handing out these candy apples. If you wanna check them out, go to the confectionery website. We'll put that here in the video as well. And we're gonna chow down after we pass these out, enjoy one for ourselves. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.